Welcome back to the series where I 100% every game in Roblox, and today I'm doing the Hunt event. This event has 25 games a part of it, and even a prize of 1 million for the winner. Each of the 25 games had a quest in it that gives a token, and later a mega token that I will be doing in part 2 of the event. But in this video I will be getting all the normal tokens, starting with the free one you get from joining. I was looking at what game I should start at when a game caught my eye. Arsenal. If you've ever played an event with Arsenal in it, you would know that their quests are usually good. With the intent of having a good start to the event, I started the mission. This quest was a similar one to other events they have done, as the objective was to make my way through this area and shoot enemies along the way. This goes on for quite a bit until I enter this room.
I like your cookie.
Just like that, I was captured and put into a jail cell, where an inmate helped me figure out how to get out. I took the pipe out of the sink and dug into the ground. I found a notebook and gave it to the prisoner and was given a bar of soap back. I then melted it in the toilet for a coin, which I used to distract and take out the guard, and escape for the first token. Next up was Pet Simulator 99. And the quest for this game was to complete a raid in the new world. I had no idea what I was doing, so I ended up spending 5 minutes breaking boxes until I did a raid. It ended up being easy as it was literally impossible to lose. The goal was to break coins in rooms, and I was able to quickly do it with the pets I got from playing earlier. I then did car crushers, and the first step was to get 500 parts by destroying my car. After stunt jumping off the water slide and getting a new car, I was ready to start climbing the volcano. For the final task, I had to go 100 meters in the air off of the ramp, and after a couple of tries, I finally got it. Blade League was up next, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that this was the easiest one, as my recording was literally 6 minutes. The quest for this game was to play a 2 versus to match and score 5 goals. I joined a 2 versus to game and ended up getting destroyed, but I got 1 goal. I then jumped into 1 versus 1 matches to finish the quest. These games were fast-paced and didn't take that long for me to score the other for goals. I then went into natural disaster survival, where I had to survive 3 rounds. I started by loading into the headquarters map, and the disaster turned out to be a tsunami. So I got to the top of the building, but this was where it went wrong. The first round didn't end well, but the next 3 was a different story. Next up is Spongebob Tower Defense. When I joined, I went straight to the event area. The quest for this game was to beat the new map. I ended up spamming units around, which was enough to win. This took around 10 minutes, but really wasn't a problem. Just look at the boss's health bar. I then went into Untitled tag game, where I had to get 350 cash while playing the game. This could be done by finding it around the map, or doing things like tagging people. I then joined Eat the World for the 8th token. Here I had to feed the giant noob 1000 points worth of food, but first I had to make myself bigger so I could pick up larger foods. With my inventory full, I started throwing food at the noob. There was really nothing special about this quest. I was just doing the same thing for around 15 minutes. Next up was Rivals. For the hunt quest I had to play a 1v1 and get 5 kills into V2, so I started by joining a 2v2 match. With enough kills, I went into a 1v1 match. However, when I won the game, it didn't count my 5 other kills, so I had to do it again. Drive World was next, and for this quest I had to complete 4 obbies in a car. And this was harder than I expected, at least for me. I started in the corrupted obby and things were going well until stage 5. For some reason, I just kept making mistakes, and this ended up taking me 2 minutes. To put that into perspective, the whole recording was 13 minutes, and the whole quest had around 20 stages. And just this one stage took 2 minutes. I then finished this obby and went into the fractured obby. Next up was the Rifted obby. And finally the Splintered obby. Next up was Chained. I started by going through the event portal, and then started on the obby. I could only step on red platforms while my teammate could only step on blue, and we had to pull each other to do some parts, all while climbing a big mountain. There were big boulders that could kill along the way, alongside a variety of obstacles. Overall, it was a bit challenging, and it was more enjoyable than some other games. After making it to the top, I got my 11th token and was almost halfway done with the event. Token 12 was Tower Defense Simulator, and just like Spongebob Defense Simulator, there was a new map for the event. The theme of this one was core blocks, and I chose the tactician loadout. I mainly focused on my militants because of their high DPS, and then started placing mortars because of their splash damage. I then put down some military bases, and by wave 15 this was what I had. I was ready for the last wave against the core blocks Deathwalker. I then went into a girl, and if you haven't played it before, it's basically Dress to Impress. For the token here I had to play the games, earn 25 hearts, and give 30 hearts to other players. I started my outfit as Santa even though the theme was nerd. I ended up restarting, and the end product looked like this. It wasn't my proudest work, but it ended up getting the job done as I got exactly 25 hearts. And let's just say that it wouldn't be my worst performance in this game. I started with putting on a cowboy hat, and for some reason gave myself these ears and turned myself green. After finishing my look, this was the end product. And after my walkout, the round was over and I collected my token. Token 14 was Metro Life, and for this quest I had to go around the map and take 6 photos. However, I wasn't paying attention and missed the crucial part where I had to take photos. So I went to all of the places and none of it counted. So I went and had to do it all again. Next was Bayside High School, and this token was one of the shortest in the event. However, where it lacked length that made up for inequality. It starts with getting sucked into a phone, and then teleported into crossy blocks, where you have to cross the road and avoid traffic. And after a few failed attempts, I made it to the end to get the token. But first, can someone explain how I died here? Anyways, here's where I got it. Next was Basketball Legends, and for the token here, I had to win the 4v1 game mode. And once we got enough people, we were sent into a game against an AI. And let's just say I wasn't very good at this. Until the next token was Regretevator, and the task here was to survive 7 floors. The first one I had to collect pizza and deliver it. It was a free win since I don't think I could die. But however, the next one was an obby. Next was in Sebastian's shop, and it was another free round. I made the mistake of thawing the pandemonium, which would be bad in the future. But for now I finished my third floor, and the next one was in some sort of maze. I don't think you could die, but pandemonium ended up catching me. After surviving the minigame, I thought it would be over, completing another floor, but pandemonium came back. After doing it again, I was already behind for the next floor, but I got it done. The sixth floor was a giant cube that I had to stay on. The final floor was a dropper that didn't take very long. Next was a dusty trip, and for this token I had to beat 3 different bosses. After joining, I fixed up the car and got a golden minigun from one of my viewers. Then we made our way to the first boss. The boss had unique attacks, and we attacked when it was vulnerable. I ended up losing the minigun outside the boss area, so we had to use normal guns. After doing that 2 more times, we beat the first boss. The next minor boss was basically the same thing as the lumberjack. I would avoid slightly challenging attacks and wait for the boss to be vulnerable to attack. This was the same pattern for the last ice boss, but however it was more challenging. Overall the token was good, just a little bit long for my liking. Remember when I said Bayside High School and Blade League were short? That was before I played fish. For some reason when I joined, the first quest was already done, which was to catch 10 fish. I then went over to Sunstone Island to do the next one, and opened to bait crates that I already had. I then talked to the Easter Bunny, and the token appeared. And after using a conch to teleport back to spawn, I claimed the token. Next up was Infection Gunfight, and I had to get a score of 200 for the token. This could be done by shooting zombies or infecting humans. After 2 rounds I had 45 points, and after a good round with zombie I doubled it. After another 5 minutes, I was able to get the final points playing as a zombie. Token 21 was Clip It, and let's just say this one was interesting. The first part of the token I had to watch 20 clips. The thing about this was I had to watch them fully or they didn't count. And this was the type of content I had to watch. So after doing this for 10 minutes I finished the first task. Next I just had to put 3 items on my avatar. The final thing I had to do was make my own clip. So after choosing the clothing store scene, I recorded whatever this was, added music to it, and then posted it for the token. Next up was World 0, and there was a new dungeon I had to beat for the token. After another few minutes of playing I made it to the boss. It was a pretty cool boss, but it was basically just me spam clicking. Token 23 was Hell's Kitchen, and to get it I had to
serve 5 exceptional quality dishes.
Once I joined, Gordon Ramsay introduced the first team challenge where we had to cook. This would be my perfect chance to make some exceptional dishes. Starting with duck rillettes, I first got the ingredients out of the pantry and fridge. I then chopped the garlic and baguette and boiled the ingredients. I then blended the duck and assembled the meal, turning it in for my first dish. After doing a quick obby, I was sent into the kitchen to cook duck rillettes again. After serving it, I had to make duck liver parfait. After following some of the same steps as the previous one, I mixed the ingredients and assembled the dish for my third meal. For the lamb kofta skewers, I had to grab ingredients from the pantry and fridge. So after chopping, stirring and cooking the ingredients, I finished the fourth dish. The last dish was a burger, and it was the same process for cooking as the other ones. After turning in the final dish, I went back to Gordon and received the token. Up next was pressure, and to start I went into the new area. In case you haven't played it before, this is how it works. There are 3 different monsters that are in the game. The main one being the crooked. It can only move when you don't look at it, and it follows you around the whole time. However, it does have a special feature that can help me. Next is Pipsqueak, and it is basically just Angler. So to survive it, I had to just hide in a locker. Finally, there is Rebar. It chases you, and the only way to survive is to use a flash beacon or hide. With that out of the way, I started by picking up the code and opening the first door. I also forgot to mention there were 40 doors, and I first encountered the crooked in room 37. It was faster than I thought, which led to this. After I heard Pipsqueak coming, so I hid behind a few crates. At door 29 I had a close encounter with it. Fast forward to room 19, the crooked catches me again. Then again just a minute later, I then was attacked by Rebarb and Pipsqueak at the same time, which led to my death. However, I noticed that the crooked went into a locker just moments before. My suspicions were confirmed when Sebastian said,
Toying with you, he still knows to value one's own survival. Follow his lead.
This basically just meant that whenever it goes into the locker, Pipsqueak was coming. I was already close to the end, so I just revived. This wasn't enough as I got low from the crooked and Rebar, and was finished off by the Rebar. But I just had 6 doors left, so I revived again, and quickly made it to the end for the 24th token. The final token was an Untitled boxing game, and I started the quest by talking to the quest giver. He told me I would have to beat twins for the token, starting with Raiden. After beating Raiden, I then had to beat his sister Raven. With all of the tokens collected, I began to collect my rewards. I then entered in a code to get the cactus head. Finally, I joined a live stream to collect the 3 horns. With all of that done, I had 100% the event. Or did I? Stay tuned for the second part of the event where I collect all of the mega tokens that are significantly harder than the normal tokens.